Greetings to all light forms and life workers who have found this special Third Eye Lion interview with author and professional golfer, educator Peter Beams. I am your host, Samuel, the Third Eye Lion. And Peter, if you would like to introduce yourself.
Peter Beams, born in Dublin, Ireland, lived in Cheshire, very close to where Lewis Carroll was born, and came to America in 1968.
Nice. And growing up, did you read a lot of Lewis Carroll, other types of literature? What would some of your influence be?
I read a lot of books because of my father's library. Lewis Carroll wasn't really one of my books, but John Buchan, Sapper, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, many Three Musketeers. Yeah, just great books.
The classics.
The classics.
And at a young age, did you start doing art of your own, writing your own stories, maybe drawings?
No, I don't really ever remember being particularly good at art. I played a lot with tin soldiers, which I think kind of kept me down. The metal, I think that's known today. It does. I was very lucky because I came from a loving family with tremendous education. My father was chosen by Churchill to be one of the prosecuting attorneys at Nuremberg. So our house was filled at the end of the war with Indian legislators, great Jewish lawyers that had been at the trials, and so just lucky to be around those brilliant people.
Nice. And growing up with your other people in your school and your community, what was the kind of relationship they gave you based on your father's status in the community?
Don't ever remember anything about my father's status because I was sent away to school at 8. So there was a misconnect.
Yeah.
And my father never took me to his court. I was kind of around probably my mother and my grandmother. My mother was a great artist, had all her incredible designs stolen by the Potteries, which was close to Cheshire, where they made china. And my mother did a lot of very, very innovative designs for the Potteries, which were stolen. She never got paid for.
Wow.
That was kind of being a woman in those days.
Yeah, the tragedy of it.
Yes.
And is there a certain type of music or other like artistic thing that you like to consume or share with your friends growing up?
Well, I think growing up, I think it was pretty normal. You were a rebel, so being a rebel, being young, I went to Liverpool to the Cavern, and of course saw the Beatles, and the Beatles were just 4 incredible
talents
guys, but nothing. I mean, we loved them, but we loved the swinging blue jeans. We loved the tremolos.
Yeah.
Not putting them down in any way, but they were one of a group, and obviously they were incredible. And then the world found them, which is finding us.
Yes.
Same thing.
Great. And as a child, did you start doing golf, or was that something you picked up later?
My father taught me when I was 3.
Ah.
And in the beginning of The Boy Who Rode Clouds is that beginning, where the boy says to his dad, "I can't do it." And his dad says, "Well, maybe you're trying too hard." And so that's the beginning of the story.
Oh, nice. And to continue off of that, do you want to talk more about the origins of The Boy Who Rode Clouds, the kind of the seeds of where the idea came from?
Well, first of all, not putting American education down, the level of education in Britain at that time, even at the bottom where I was Oxford. It was the top of the top. So when I came to America, I was kind of shocked, that I was quite well educated, because I was always told I was an idiot. So you're asking about
the origin of The Boy Who Rode Clouds.
The origin. Um, I think I was a daydreamer. I was always taught by my grandmother to dream. Always taught to dream big dreams. Dreams that everybody would say, "You're crazy. You're stupid." And I think that was the origin. My grandmother saying, you know,
The belief in you.
the belief. That was the big thing. I think everybody needs that belief.
Yes, and to continue with that, do you have any other tips you say for inspiring writers or creative individuals that might help them create their own structure?
Yeah, it's very simple. It's just doing what the Beatles did. You go to a place, you go to your table, you get the pen out, and you just write. You write rubbish. It doesn't matter. But I'll tell you, out of that rubbish, there'll be some gems. And there is no school to go to learn how to write. Writing is just very, very simple that you do it. Now, I get up at 3:30, and not right now because of what's going on, but I get up at 3:30 and I work. I work at a coffee shop. I'll work till 6:30, putting things together. And as long as you're working, something good will come out of it. So there's your advice for writers. Simply do it.
Yeah, repetition.
Repetition.
Thank you. And do you have any other ways for like visualization of ideas that might help as well? Ways for an artist to better understand what they're thinking before they kind of can do the adjective work?
I think the best thing you can do as a writer for what you're talking about, is to go on walks, go to the beach, watch the seagulls, look at the dogs. Just fill yourself with positive wonderments of the universe. You'll never unravel it. You'll never come to any profound statement about life. Life simply has to be lived. And the more you're kind to people, the quicker you will move on. And the biggest thing I ever had in my life was giving is living and living is giving. The more you give $1 to the guy, the hamburger guy. Give $1, pay for somebody's coffee. You can give. Hey, if I was Jeff the Clown Bezos, I'd be giving everything I had away. Because one day you've got to face the judge and the jury. And you remember that story about, could you just dip your finger in the water and just give me a little piece of water? No, you've got to give. The more you have, the more you've got to give.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And one last question here is, if you can explain some of the things, the outcome, the legacy of The Boy Who Wrote Clouds, things that you would like to see it be done 20, 50 years, the legacy of your creation. What are some ideas that you might just have?
Well, it's very simple. You've just got to jump on that cloud. You know, there's nothing underneath, maybe nothing above. But that's what life is. Life is faith. Life is being laughed at because you you don't fit in. But guess what? You're the guy that comes around behind with a boot and kicks the person that said, you know, you're useless. One quick story. I was playing in Australia. My mother had said to me in England, she said, Peter, you may become good. You may become really good, but you'll never beat Jack Nicklaus in a tournament. Now, what she meant was 4 rounds, but I beat him in the first round of the Australian Open. I shot 73. I shot 72, sorry. He shot 73, and I blew up that thing out of the paper and sent it to my mother. She responded, I have no idea why you sent this blown up picture of you and these other golfers. She completely didn't see what I tried to say. But never say never. You're put on this earth to joust those windmills. You're put on this earth to do incredible stories and illustrate incredible stories and write incredible music when you have no possible way of being able to do it. You don't have the so-called ability or talent. And my son will tell you that. My son's one of the greatest violinists in the world. He didn't start that till he was 14. He's now declared as one of the great violinists.
Thank you so much for your time, Peter. And if there's anything else, links or any information you'd like to give the audience at the end, the platform is yours.
I think that this is old school now. This is kind of, what is it, passe or whatever. Read the Bible. Read the Bhagavad Gita. Read all these holy books. You don't need to stay with one, because in those books is incredible advice, incredible speak from God, whoever your God is. There is only one God. So, if you decide that one God lives on a mushroom, or that one God lives at the bottom of the ocean, so be it. But the thing is, believe me, I know there is a creator of this universe, and we all are going to meet with that creator. Whether we believe in his son, Jesus Christ, or whether we believe in Muhammad, whatever we believe in, we're all going to face that when we die. So study this. Study what life is all about. Study death. That's all I've got for you.
Thank you again, Peter, and much love to all my audience in this trying time. Continue to love and support your neighbors and your communities. Thank you all.